Hi, Mark here. Trust you're well, and welcome to this recording of a live Lightroom skills session that I hosted back in November 2025. The narrative for the evening was smart collections, and we looked at a hidden functionality called the and or question. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe, like, ask a question in the comments. Most weeks I host a live Lightroom skills and support session live on Zoom, where for the first hour we look at a skill, and then the second hour is open to your questions. You need help with a functionality, a skill, or perhaps there's something not quite right with your classic catalogue, or perhaps you think that you could do something a little differently and speed up your workflow, returning you to the field of photography sooner. Just check out lightroommark.com for all my upcoming events. Now, without any further ado, let's jump across to the recording. Happy photography. Welcome to that side, Dieppe, which is where I am at the moment in northern France. I've been traveling the last few days. So, there we go. Everyone all right?
Yep.
Yeah? Good. This week, we're going to look at importing with smart collections. And I'm going to go through smart collections and the and or command. And it's a hidden functionality. And once you start thinking about what the and or command is, it can really help you. And this is where the majority of my smart collections are. So I will have a smart collection that shows me a narrative. That could be a space, that could be a place, that could be something that I photograph a lot. And I'll have that as a top level smart collection. Okay. And normally what I do is I have folders, I have collection sets, which are folders in Lightroom. And they will be in what I call project name. So the project, the Silent Beast of Glencoe, that is the collection set. And in there, I will have lots of different collections and smart collections. Work in progress. What answers? And one of those, or several of those, will be smart collections. Show me all the ones I've picked. Show me all the ones that I've picked and edited. Now, sometimes I will have that as just a one question. Show me all the ones I've picked. And then I'll use the library filter bar bit at the top to ask more questions or filter more questions. And why do I do that? Well, how long is a piece of string? How many questions do I want to ask? Yeah. I might come back to a project and say, I've been asked for some pictures about something. And I don't want to create another smart collection, which makes the list longer and longer and longer and longer. I want to keep my list down to probably about a maximum of 10 or 12 collections. So when I am temporarily asking a question, I will use the filter bar. Okay, so show me all my picked images. Yeah, show me all my picked images that I took with this camera, and the camera I'll choose in the list. Okay, so I click on my picked images. I change the list. Yeah. And this is what I'm doing is I'm asking questions that aren't permanent questions. Yeah. Show me they were taking this camera, but in 2004 or 2024, or were taken with this lens or taking this. I don't need to keep saving this smart collection. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense? Because it's a simple question. As far as I'm concerned, it's a simple question. Did I like it? Have I edited it? Did I like it? What camera did I take it with? Because I'm looking for a large print. Yeah. Somebody's gone and said, Mark, I want a picture of boom, but I want a 6 foot by 4 foot print. So I need to take it with my Z8, Z9, or Z7 II. Yeah. Or somebody said, "Oh, I want up one of those pictures of your infrared photographs from up there." Right. So it's my Z5. So I feel, but it's not a question that I'm constantly asked. So I don't save it as a smart collection. And that's the bit I wanted to get to. I only have my permanent questions asked as a smart collection. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I add the additional questions that I have in the library filter bar. Okay. So let's have a look. I've been trying out, let's just make sure before I mess anything up. There it is. So, come on. There we go. So, I don't know if you know, so I do some mentoring and whether it's university and so on. And somebody has spent quite a bit of money with me over the years, and they said to me the other day, wanted a smaller, lighter weight camera. So I lent them one of these. This is a Z52. It's a Nikon little crop sensor camera. Very, very powerful. It's got the D500 sensor in it, which is from 1989. Absolutely beautiful sensor, but it's been zooked up. It's on steroids. It's in here. But anyway, they'd spent a lot of money with me, and I lent it to them. And they said they absolutely loved it. They gelled with it, and they got a Nikon whatever it is, Z whatever, and I lent them that. So I told them they could keep it. I only lent them the body, so I had to go and buy another one. And I'm trying these. These are OWC. What's it stand for, Jay?
Other world computing.
Can never remember that. They're an American organization, and I've always been a SanDisk person. Um, but I've been quite impressed with this company, and I can't find a bad word about it. And they're very fast and reasonably priced. This is a 256 gigabytes UH2 or whatever it's called. It's the faster drives at 250 gigabits per second. So great for 4K video. And that was £84. The equivalent SanDisk was 125. So 30% cheaper. So I'm just trying that at the moment. So I've got some images that I've taken, just some snaps that I took today in coming to Dieppe. So let's go through the workflow. Let's share screen. Okay, so we have some images that I've taken. These are on this card. And if you don't know, in version 15, we have this new thing called assistant culling, and it's to do with portraits at the moment. And it will cull, but not pick. It'll put a marker on them if, for example, it's a portrait and the eyes are closed. So it'll say, oh, you don't want the eyes closed, and things like, is it out of focus? You can set a focus tolerance. So using subject detection, it will say, is that subject in focus? And you can set the sensitivity of it, and it'll mark it, it'll cull it for you. So it'll help you with your culling. But we'll look at that in a few weeks' time. So sort by capture time. So let's have a look at some images here from Dieppe. So these are just walking around, going down to Carrefour's to get some food. So I was just taking a few pictures. I forgot to change the time zone on this camera, so I need to do that as well. So we'll look at that. So I'm going to uncheck all, and I'm going to take from here to here. Going to tick, and these are just street images of Dieppe. So I want to build smart preview because I work with smart previews. Do not import duplicates. I want to build one-to-one previews. I want to add them to a collection. So I'm going to put them in a collection, and I'm just going to name the collection, and we're just going to call it Dieppe. Okay. not going to sync it. So there's my collection. It's a manual collection. I'm going to rename them. During import, I'm going to add Dieppe, comma, street. Okay. And then where am I going to put them? So I'm going to put them in a folder for today. So I need to create a new folder for 11 because I haven't got an 11th month. So new folder, 11. There we go. So they're going to go into that folder, choose the folder. There's the folder. And it's going to go into this date folder. 27 images, 43 that were taken that day. So I'm going to import them. So that's all straightforward stuff. Yeah, everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's going through the processes. It does one after another, after another, after another. So it does one smart preview, then does that same image. It goes on to do indexing it, goes on to convert it to TNG. The assistant culling is turned off in my case. And I'll show you how to do that. If we come to catalog settings, if you do not do portraits and you want to turn that assistant culling off, because I found it very annoying, and it's not your main workflow. So you come into catalog settings under metadata and down towards the bottom here, it's assistant culling, and this will be ticked by default. So if you want to turn off that functionality automatically for all your images, because it was sitting in the background doing it for you, you can untick this box. And then if you ever want to turn it on for this collection, you can come up and you can tick the pause button and it will cull these images. But at the moment, it's only for portraits. Okay. So I've got these images here. That's straightforward, isn't it? Yeah. This is my standard workflow. And I would go through picking and rejecting, etc. So let's have a quick look. Okay. So I'm going to take these images here. I'm going to press N. Okay. Press Tab, get rid of the side panels. Do I like them? Don't I like them? Is the image for me? Is the image for a client? And the client could be my stock library. Do I think there's any commercial value to it? £30. Is the council, the tourist board, anyone going to buy it? Yes or no? Don't know. Okay. So I sit here and go, right, okay, so let's go back. Click on the first one. I'm going to pick the first one, reject the second one, pick the third one. Okay. But you can see they've stayed there. So what we do is we turn on attributes. We go unfiltered. Now they're gone from view. Now we've got some street images here, 2 street images. Now I quite like the one on the left. I don't like the one on the right. So I'm going to pick, because I've put the filter on, it disappears. I'm going to reject. Now go to the next series of images. They're approximately the same. All right. So I'm going to pick the first one. I'm going to reject that one. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to reject that one. I'm going to G. Those are the same. Okay. I quite like the shapes in that one. Don't like that one. I like the person walking into that. Okay. These are raw files as shot out the camera. I'm just walking down the Carrefours and going click, click, click. I liked this, but I didn't have enough time to walk down the road to get this leading line, to get this van out of it, but it's an idea for tomorrow. Okay, I quite like this building up here and the light that's on there, and I quite like that. So we'll come back. Again, I'm looking at the narrative, I'm looking at the structure, I'm looking at what I photographed. I quite like this, new and old, boarded up, rusting away, new sign. I quite like the story there. Okay, take these images here. I was walking past. I did not have time to set my camera to face detection and walk past. The camera was set up, but they're not focused. So no, press spacebar, no, press spacebar, no, press spacebar, no, press spacebar. I saw them at the corner of my eye and I didn't have the opportunity, because if I'd have picked my camera up and put it to my face, they would have known, or looked at the viewfinder to change the setting and then put the camera down to my knee and go as I walk past. They would have known what I was doing. and I don't want them to react to it. So I'm looking at these three images here. No, I love the light down here. So I'm just going to pick that and I'm going to pick that one. I'll probably pick the others. And there's an alleyway there. And I'm going to pick that. So I've gone through culling those images. Okay. So what is the smart collections? So this is a manual collection. So what I will have normally is a collection set. Let's call it Normandy. Okay, I'm going to put it inside there. And I'm just going to take that manual collection of Dieppe images. Okay, so what is a manual collection? Jay had a brilliant word for it the other week.
A temporary? Uh,
Yeah,
um,
but it was a better word that you used.
Static, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well done, John. It was a static collection. It was a static
Static.
moment in time because
right.
those are the 27 images that I've imported and culled. Okay. So if I now go smart collection, KW, this is my workflow, keyword, and I can put equals or minus or whatever you want to do, DF. Okay. Keyword, and I'll come down to other metadata. I've shown you this before. It contains DF. Okay. And why hasn't that? Have I spelt something wrong?
Yeah, you spelled dep wrong. Dieppe wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well done. Well, I typed it wrong, I expect. D. Is it I?
And
There you go. Typed and so on, etc. I always have. My typing's not the best in the world, nor is my spelling realistically. So this is 27 images, okay? But you can see it's preserved the culling status. So why is that? Why has that smart collection got the flags on them? What is unique about the culling?
Well, you haven't specified anything in the smart collection about color.
Yeah, you're totally right. But what is the culling referring to? If I go to folders, it's there in folders.
Well,
Okay.
it's your opinion. I mean, it reflects your opinion.
But it's unique to the image.
It's the flag.
Sorry?
The flag.
Yeah, culling is unique. Flag is unique to the image. So the culling attaches to the image, not to the collection. I'm just saying this is a manual collection of what I've imported at that static moment in time. And I have those images in there. Yeah. This is a collection. The answer is the same at the moment because the flag is associated to the image. And all I've asked it to do is show me the images of Dieppe, keyworded, yeah? All right. But I can, if I was having what I call a temporary question, show me all the picked images, I'm filtering the picked images. Now you could, if you wish, and I'm going to do it by duplicating the smart collection, keyword equals Dieppe plus flag. Okay. And I press plus, and I'm going to go flag is pick flag is flagged. Okay. And that is a permanent collection, smart collection of that question, that query. This is a smart collection of keywords of Dieppe. This is a smart collection, a permanent smart collection. It's always asking these two questions. Yeah? Of Dieppe and flagged. Yeah? But it's the same thing as attributes show me the picked images. Yeah? That's exactly the same. See? I click between the two. One is what I class as a temporary question because I'm filtering it, yeah? So what I'm trying to show you is there are different ways of showing you the same results. So here we go. Date. I can change this. Flagged. I got the flag there. So there's the 13 images. There's the 13 images. So the question is, do you want lots of smart collections or do you want a hierarchical smart collection? All right. So keyword equals diep, and then use your text. So you could type in some text here and you can search here. Okay, so let's go to these images and let's put in here. Let's do a bit of homework, okay? So I know where that is. Let's just have a look. See if it's got GPS tagging on it. No, I won't have GPS tagging on this image. So let's go to where we are. Oops. There we go. And come around here, come around here. There's the park. And that is roughly there. Okay, so have I got a name for the park on Google Maps? There we go. Park Francisco. Right, okay. So let's do that in Google. Okay, so we can get a bit more information. Open that up. Come into where I am. There we go. So this is the name of it. Okay, and actually, there's the picture of the waterfall behind what I took. There you go. There's the picture of the waterfall. If I go back to here, there's a waterfall. Can you see that there? Okay, so I could put that in as a keyword if I wanted to. Okay, I could put it in the title if I wanted to. Okay, and I could do this on import. So headline and title. Okay, now I could, if I wanted to, add, show me keywords that's got the name of the park in. Or I could go to tag, show me, didn't highlight it, show me any field that has got that in. And there it is. So the question is how long do you want this list? Because you're asking questions and you could have this list as long as you like it to be. But if you're on a small laptop, like I am here, a 14-inch laptop, this list would go on and on and on and on and on. But by having a master smart collection, you can ask yourself additional questions, filtering your answer. Okay? So again, I've said it millions of times, working out where you want to get to, where roughly you want to get to. You know, I want to go on holiday to Normandy. Oh, where in Normandy? Oh, we could go here, we could go here and here. But Normandy would be my collection set. Show me all my images in Normandy. You could have show me all the images in Wistreham, in Bayo, and you'd have collections there. And then you would filter down using the filter bar at the top. Okay? That, yeah?
Yeah, Mark,
Right.
that smart collection you just created there, was that just searching on the Normandy collection or is it searching on the whole catalogue?
At this moment, we're searching on the whole catalogue. Okay? So we're going to... Sorry, Jay?
The copy, that I didn't know you could do that. That's really powerful. But
Yeah.
can you copy to a manual, not a smart collection? So if
Yep.
so in
Yep.
other words,
So
if you right now what I do is I narrow it down in the smart collection, then I go and create a manual and then copy it. That's a lot of work. If I could just copy it to a manual thing,
yeah.
that would be great.
Okay, I'll show you what I do when so how I use smart collections. I'm asking a question or questions, and it
right.
gives me the answer.
But then I
Then
want to save that. Right,
right, okay. So you want to save that as a collection. Yeah.
right.
So you
Yes,
select all of them, then create a collection, and there's a tick box. And I'll show you how to do it. There's a tick box, add all current images or whatever the term wording is to this new collection.
right. That's what I do now, but you can't say copy. You can't use the copy command.
No, because it's copying the smart collection questions. It's not copying the
Oh,
answers.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. Yes, I get it.
It's copying what's in the left-hand side, not the answers. So, and what you have
I
to do
get
is
it.
copy the answers.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what Jay is talking about or referring to. Okay, so there's my smart collection. And what I could do is go right click and duplicate smart collection. But you can't put a smart collection in the cloud. For example, that's one thing. Okay. So let's go attributes, show me my picked images. So that's the answer to what I'm looking for, all my picked images. So I select all, press plus, create, the app picked. Include selected photos. So all these photos, before I went plus, I've selected. I can create them as virtual copies if I want. So if I'm going to continue editing them or start editing them or take them into black and white, I can create a virtual copy of them by clicking here. Or we can just group them together. And here we go. This is the collection. So it's the same point of where I was in my workflow. Show me all my picked images. And now it's a collection. And now I can sync that. Okay, now it will appear on my iPhone. Now I can share it. Okay.
And the smart is the one that has the little icons to the
Yep.
left.
Okay, so let's talk about how they look here. Your folder, your smart collection set will always be at the top, the little box. Then, irrespective of what you call them, your smart collections, which is the one with the little cog, will appear at the top, followed by your collections. Nothing you can do about that. But you can order these. So these ones here you can order. And how you order them is rename them. And it starts one. That will always appear at the top. Okay. If I duplicate that, all right, it's got the word copy there. Take the word copy out and put 9. That will appear at the bottom. If I duplicate it, okay, it's copied because it's got the copy word copy at the end, so it's after in the alphabet. Just going to rename it, and I'm going to put 3. Take the word copy out. It'll appear 1, 3, 9. Okay, because all the rest are the same. All right, and it's the same with collections. Now, when I start, let's say, duplicating this one, for argument's sake, and I call it 1, and let's say I put A, take out the rest, A becomes before K. Because K we got here, A comes before K. So it's above it. Okay? So what that is numbers come first, 1 to 9, then 0. And we don't write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We put 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. The reason why is if I put 10, it will appear before 2. Okay? Because it's got a 1. Then, once we get to 1 and we get to 0, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? So if you want things in a particular order, we put a number first in the number that you want. And that's what I do. Because I might have keywording and I might have cat. Cat comes before D, C comes before D, right? So it will be above it, but I don't want it above it. I want it below it. It's a less important smart collection. So I use the numbering. And it's the same with the collections. And that's how you can't drag and drop them. Okay, so that's what it is filing. And same with smart collection sets. If you've got them in the same, you can see CFT. CFT. Okay, they're in alphabetical order. Okay, so that's how they're presented. So now, let's take this. Let's import some more images. So we've got some more content. I need to put the chip back in because I pressed the eject. So here's a little tip for you. Just wait for it to find it. So let's go and find some more images. Can you see these are grayed out? And the reason they're grayed out, do not import suspected substitutes. So let's have a look at untick. Have a look at the train journey. Okay, so these are just playing random shots out the corner of the train as I'm sitting looking out the window. Okay, so that'll go. Those. Rename. Make sure I use the right renaming. Implied units. So I'm going to put train. There we go. And they're going to go into yesterday's folder. So copy, DNG, boom. So I'll just put the word train on them. I haven't put them in a collection, anything like that. Now, I deliberately didn't put them in the collection. Why? How will I quickly find those images?
Previous
Anyone?
import.
Sorry?
Previous import.
Yeah, where's that, John?
Previous import. In catalog, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so if you need to go back to a step in the catalog, and these are questions, all synced images, quick collections, all images in my catalog. And there can be other questions that will temporarily appear in there. Missing photographs is another one. Okay. But one of the questions is previous import, as John says. Oh, bum, I didn't put them in a collection. How am I going to find them? Where did they go? Doesn't matter where they went. Previous imports, there they all are. Okay, all 169 images that I imported. I could ask the question, text, find a keyword. I could ask the question of attributes, show me the dates, because I knew when they were taken. Yeah, but that's just one click. So I click here, and there they all are. So now I can go select all, come to my collections, and go train. Okay, include. So now I've got a collection of all those images. Okay, and now I could sit there and go deselect. The drive's running very fast for some reason. Close down a sec. I could turn around and say, right, these ones. Now, do you remember I said to you about 1 star? This is 1 star there. I've just imported it. 1 star there. Let's open the thumbnail. See, this is 1 star.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go back to that. Yeah. And you'll see I can filter that attributes. Show me my 1 star images. There they all are. So there's 4 1 star images. Okay. So let me show you what I did there. Okay. Sitting on the train, looking out the window. Oh, that's nice. I wonder what that would look like. Turn the screen around, have a look, press play. That button there, in play mode. So I'm reviewing, not when I'm shooting. 2 different modes. Shooting mode, that button there is 1 star. So as I can look through the viewfinder and look at the image. That's the great thing about DSLR. Mirrorless. Or I can look on the screen. I can turn the screen around like that and look. Press play, yeah, and look. And as I'm going through them with my finger, like that on the button, I hit that button there with this finger, and it puts a 1 star on them because I liked it on the back of the camera. Yeah. I press the OK button. In play mode, the OK button zooms in at 100%, where it was focused. Is it in focus? Yeah. And then I want to identify that image. I like that image. Yeah. And when I import, as I said a few weeks ago, the 1 star or stars ratings is the only attribute that is kept with the image across every piece of software that I'm aware of, every piece of hardware that I'm aware of. And there we go. I've identified immediately on import out of those 169 images, the images I liked on the back of the camera. Okay, I like that one. Yeah, it's not square and all the rest of it. I'm not worried about any of that. I just liked the shot on the back of the camera for some reason. Okay, and that's how I identify them. And I have in my workflow, I've got a smart collection that says liked on the back of the camera. Okay, rating is 1 star. Create. And I've got this, and it's in my what they call my library, work in progress library folder, collection sets. And I got that and that, and I can see them across the whole of my catalog. Okay. So yeah, there it is down there. Right. So let's have a look at collection sets that the and or. Start a collection set. Okay. And or. Okay, so we have to ask a question. So let's go keyword. Other methods. Keyword is okay. So let's turn that off. So we have got our first question. All right. Now we can see we've got a plus here. And that's to add additional questions. But we have this selection tool here. So we can ask additional questions and we can say ask. It meets none of the criteria. So it doesn't have a keyword. So let's say keyword is empty. Okay. Rating is not rated. Okay. It's not a 1 star image. It's not flagged. So that's all the rejected and unflagged images. Okay. So it meets none of those criteria. Okay. Let's see what the answer is. And there isn't any images. Okay. Meets all the criteria. There we go. 702 images meets all that criteria. Or we could say meets any of the criteria, 2,460. So any of those. Show me all the images that have not got any keywords. Show me all the images that are not flagged. Show me all the images that are not 1 starred. Any of those questions. Okay. All of those questions, show me all of those. So we could turn around and say, okay, we could turn around and say keyword contains yep. Okay, there's 14 of them that have been rejected, that are not 1 starred. Okay, but it's finding all of them, so they all meet this criteria. So I'm asking 3 questions. All right. Everyone got that? I'm asking 3 questions and it meets all that criteria or none of that criteria or any of the criteria. Okay?
Yeah.
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 Right. Option Alt. What's Option Alt mean? Anybody?
In what situation?
Well, if I press it, what does it do? In anywhere in Lightroom Classic, what does it do?
Adds extra functionality.
Yeah. A word beginning with M.
Mode.
Modifying. It's a modifying key. there are so many hidden functionalities. When you use a tool, a slider, pressing the Alt or Option key, it changes it. A lot of times it reverses things. Okay. So let's just give you a quick example. All right. So we go here, go to the develop module, black point, can't really see what it's doing. Press the Alt Option key. I can see what is black, what is white. There's my white, that's my white point. I'm holding the Option key down. Okay, I can see what black is. That's blacker than black. I'm crushing the blacks, it's called. Very good in black and white. I'm holding the modifying key down. Okay. Now, when I do this in a collection, smart collection specifically, have a look at the plus button. At the moment, without holding it down, I'm adding an additional question. But when I hold the modifying key, can you see it goes to a hash or pound J? Sorry, you call it pound, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you call it a pound symbol. Okay. So it becomes to an and or question. And you can ask multiple questions. And this is great for keywording. So if you're looking for something that your first question is, it's picked. Okay, the image could be rated, could be keyworded, could be titled. And then you then say, show me all the picked images, and they have got, or they have. So any of the following is true, all the following is true, none of the following are true. But it only applies it to the top question. So I could say, show me the picked, and the keyword is Dieppe plus, and it was taken today. Okay. So show me the pictures that are flagged that's got a keyword and they were taken today. And there's your answer. Okay. This is a really powerful question. You can have all of them. So I was on any are true. So it has Dieppe and today, or you can have all of them. So it's got to be flagged. It's got to have a keyword Dieppe, and it's got to have today's date. Okay. You can have them so they've got people's names in them. You've keyworded them the names, the face ID. So show me they're flagged and they've got Tony in it and they've got Joan in it, or they've got Tony in it, or they've got Joan in it. So show me all my picked and or. And this is a really powerful question. And or. Okay. Or you can even have none. But it relates to the top question. Now you can add more questions, and these are complex questions. Show me all the images that I took at a geographic location on the corner of a racetrack somewhere. So you're using the map module search that have got Lewis Hamilton in. That was taken with my Z9 using a 600mm lens that had a f-stop of f4. Yeah? This is where this becomes really powerful because I'm looking for a specific image. And when you've got, in my case, 250,000 pictures, 400,000 images, asking this complex question, thinking about the question, just those few moments, asking that question, I can find an image in seconds. Okay, so holding the Option Alt key allows you to ask this and or question hidden functionality. Did I scan the image? So that was a film scan. Okay. Did I scan it? When did I scan it? What was the keyword? Did I put GPS coordinates on it? All this, and it's all about digital asset management. So it's thinking about that question. It's a complex question that you're asking to find your image because it will give you back the right answer if you ask the right question. Okay.
Uh, if once you've done the hashtag and it's indented, if you hit the plus, will that be indented, continue to be
If you
indented?
ask it underneath the indented yes, if you go back up to the top and click on the top question and press plus there, it'll ask, so it will say, show me all my picked and five
Okay.
stars.
So if you want to add a third question, you go back to the top
Correct.
and
Correct.
press the Command Alt key
Correct.
and then do
Yeah.
plus. If you want it underneath one of the two, you do that
The
underneath.
the underneath relates to the question directly above it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it could be, show me all the pictures of this football team that have this person in them with this person in them. Yeah. So it's
Right.
looking through your whole catalogue, and I'll show you in a second. John asked a very prominent question about looking in places, and I'll show you in a second. The question is, what does it relate to? The indented ones, what do they relate to? So
Right.
show me this football team, Watford Football Club, whatever it is, the picture of Johnny Depp hugging McDonough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will look for the football team, however, entitled, keyword, whatever you put it in, and those two additional things. If you've gone to a football match for the last 10 years and been not an umpire, what they call it, a steward, and you've taken thousands and thousands of photographs with your phone and you've keyworded them properly, you will find that image that you want like that. That and or is so powerful. I learned it 2, 3 years ago, and I'm still asking more complex questions about finding. Someone's asked me the image and go, oh, do I really want to sit here for 2.5 hours? What they're paying me for is for 2.5 hours sitting here finding that wonderful picture for them. Yeah.
Right.
But I remember there was Citibank. There was I was a part of the new branding exercise, and it was an umbrella and so on, etc. And the word city, and that was the logo. And I was a part of the team that did their press photography and so on at the time. This is going back years, and the lady charged £3 million for the logo. How long do you think it took her to design the logo?
5 minutes.
You're not far wrong. The initial consultation was 20 minutes. She designed it on the back of a napkin in the taxi on the way back. And when she went back with some ideas the next day, and they loved the umbrella with the word city and so on. They just had to tweak the font, etc., and the spacing between the letters. They said, how can you charge 3 million quid for 5 minutes work? And the answer is you're not paying for 5 minutes work, you're paying for 30 years of experience
Right.
that gave you what you wanted in 5 minutes.
Right.
And that's why I say 10 minutes every day, 10 minutes keywording, or 10 minutes this, or 10 minutes that, because you're improving your knowledge into. I would sit and go, oh, what that story I tell you about Ian Botham, the cricket stand at Somerset Cricket Club. The builder of that wanted a picture of Marcus Christophic being bowled or hitting a six or whatever in front of the Ian Botham stand. Marcus Christophic, could never say his name right, was a very prominent player at Somerset Cricket Club at the time. He wanted this picture. I found it in nanoseconds because I understood GPS and I understood the and or question. Okay, and my images were keyworded with the people, Face ID, etc. in there. So I went back to him within 20 minutes and he said, how can you charge me £3,000 for a photograph? And I go, well, firstly, it's commercial use, and secondly, you're paying for my experience because that's what you want. You know, when you buy a Rolls Royce, you're paying for the research and development over years and years and years and years and years. And that's why it's £500,000 for a car. So there we go. So John asked about location. So there's location and there's source, two different things. Location is geographic location, GPS data. Source is where is the information coming from. And when you create any form of smart collection, clicked on the wrong thing for you there, you can choose the source. Okay, and we can have folder, collection, or published serviced. Okay, so we can go collection, and I can say he's in a collection called DEP. You see this collection there called DEP, D-E-P-I, and it will look in this location or source. Sorry, I used the wrong word. Look in this source here. Okay, starts with here. Or I could say, look in a particular folder, and I could contains, and I could type a date, 2025, iPhone 10, and it will look in that folder. Okay. So you are just looking in that folder there, for example. Okay. So it's just looking in there. There are other sources, for example, location here, location. And you can save locations. And when we do a night on map module, really, really powerful. Once you understand the map module and have GPS functionality, I showed you, didn't I, a few weeks ago, how you can, oh, I know that picture was taken there. I can just drag them onto the map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can then say, show me all those pictures that I took in Minehead, and then filter it down into year or keywords or cameras. Oh, I know I had an iPhone 15 then, so I just looked for iPhone 15s, and oh, it was in the autumn. You know, I didn't keyword it properly, or I made a mistake, and so on, etc. And there it is. And that's using smart collections, asking questions. Okay. We're touching on a few weeks' time IPTC and EXIF data. So I won't go too much into this, but I'll just show you the type of things that you can search on, because we'll leave it for that, because I've talked a lot tonight about smart collections. EXIF data, I've said it before, say it again, is the data that comes from your camera. You press the shutter button, Nikon Z50, 26mm 2.8 full frame lens, 42mm field of view, or 39mm field of view. It takes the date, it takes the time, it takes all the data that's in here, the shutter speed, ISO, that's EXIF data. The author and copyright information that I've put in the camera, the file name, the date, the time, everything, that's all EXIF data. And you can search on that data. Okay. So if we go to library, you can search for it in the library bar, library filter, library panel, okay, by using the filter bar at the top. Okay, so we go to text, and you can search in any area. Okay, so there's a few here. Search EXIF, search IPTC, search metadata, extended description. You can have a longer description box. You can put more in there. Alternative text, so on. So there's stuff there, but there's more in the smart collection. So if we click here, we've got all of these, and there are more. So for example, you took a photograph of something in Dieppe, okay? You can add to this collection, smart collection here, you could add things like it's under develop module. I think it's under develop module. Has it been edited? Has it got adjustments? Slight difference between edits and adjustments. Adjustments are things like cropping, etc. Edits are using the basic panel. Has it been cropped? Has it got HDR? Has it got depth mapping? Has it been masked? Has it got AI mask? Has it got lens blurred? Have you removed things? Have you removed things using the new AI tool? Yeah. You've got all these things that you can ask. And one of the ones that I ask a hell of a lot, I'm just looking for it, it's under size. Okay. Aspect ratio. Because the client is looking for a portrait image. Okay. And there's all the portrait images that are flagged. They've got the keyword of DEP. So there are hundreds, absolute hundreds of permutations. And if you've got
if it was cropped to portrait, would it show up as a portrait?
it'll, yes. So it's the current aspect ratio. Okay.
Not the aspect ratio when it was taken.
Correct. My understanding, I believe that it's so. Well, let's try it. Let's try it because look, see, you've got square. So that's what I'm saying. So let's go and find a landscape image. Okay. So we've got a landscape in here. Let's try this. Let's see. Right. I'm going to put 2 stars on it. So that's what I'm doing. And press R. And now let's see. Let's see. Right. So, oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. Right. See, it's now a landscape image. It's now see, it's no longer a landscape image because I made it a
Right.
portrait image. And there it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's actually the crop. It's the post. It's the crop. Okay, so you can make it in square and so on. So that's great. Oh, I took a picture of that bird and I made it a square picture, 1-to-1 under the crop. Yeah. Where is it? Where have I put it? I've misfiled it. That's a lot of times when you'll use smart collections because you've moved it and you've lost it. Where is it? I knew it was square. I knew it was black and white because you can search using there in adjustments, show me all my black and white photographs. And it will give you all the black and white photographs. You might imported them as color, but you've edited them to black and white. And it will show you all the black and whites. Smart collections are your friend. Just understand how you want to use them. And there's 18 of us, 17 of us, whatever it is tonight. There are 18, 17 different ways of doing it. Yeah. It's an input-output question, which they call in IT. Inputting data, you're outputting data. You're asking a question, it's giving you the answer. And if you give it bad information, it will give you a bad answer. So this is where if over time you've changed your workflow, but rather than doing, oh, I've learned something different, or I've learned something that I understand differently, or that will work better for me as I mature as a photographer, as a post-processor. I'm maturing and learning as I'm going. We all do this, and I learn every single day. And oh, I used to do it this way, and now I'm going to do it that way. Yeah. Rather than sitting there for weeks and months changing your workflow, slowly migrate it across. And every time you work on a batch of images and your workflows change that batch of images to your new workflow. And yes, you'll be in 2 phases in one catalog of your old workflow and your new workflow, but you can use smart collections to say, oh, I've got an hour free today. I'm going to go back to this smart collection and change all those to my new workflow. Whatever your new workflow is, and just slowly just do it. And that's what I do. So when I changed all my keyword structure, rather than spending 2 months re-keywording everything. I just slowly, and when I see a mistake or see something that's the old structure, I change all of those. Okay? Because you'll soon get hacked off doing the same repetitive task every single day. Because you've learned something or you've changed something. 10 minutes every day. And your sense of, I found academically when I was doing my BA and so on, etc., doing a little thing every single day at the end of the week. Oh my God, I've done all that. And I thought, well, I haven't really done any work. But when you actually look at the end result, oh my God, I've written 5.5 pages of notes on what I was thinking. And I've only spent 10, 15 minutes every single day. Didn't feel like I did anything, but when I cumulative, I all add it all up, gave me such a big sense of achievement. Right, I've rabbited enough. Anyone got any questions about that? No? Either I bored you all to hell or
No, I have a comment. I've up until recently, I've really thought of Lightroom as just an editing program, but you've really convinced me that perhaps it's more important for its digital management and organization. So I think I'm really seeing a change in my view of what Lightroom is.
so I've got several different ways I describe Lightroom. So there's Lightroom, Lightroom desktop, Lightroom web, Lightroom mobile, Lightroom classic. And I affectionately call it the Lightroom ecosystem.
Yeah.
And they're different tools because some were conceived in older technology days, classic. So there's a blend of tools and there is a blend of photographers and photography. We've all got different needs. I've told you the story about renaming on export, the wedding photographer. Until that point in time, I did not see any point of renaming on export. And now I export for all my clients. I export it in a format for them, and I've got presets for them because I want to make their life easy. Okay. And Classic has made my life easy because there is a filter. I could have it as a smart collection or as a filter bar. Show me the images I've exported. So I can say this client in this collection, that's my client, all my clients are in collections. Show me in this collection all the images I've exported. There they all are. Show me them all that I've exported that I've picked, exported, the green color label, that all means things to me, that I have done this year. I'm asking them questions, and that's what smart collections are for. So classic has to be, if it's a program, digital asset management, there's something for every photographer. And it's a asset manager, it's an editor, and it's a sharing application. You can manage how you wish, you can edit how you wish, and you can share how you wish, irrespective of what type of photography you do and what photography you are and where you are in your journey of photography and learning who you are as a photographer. So it has to be all these things, whether you use a mobile phone, a crop sensor camera, a film camera, mirrorless DSLR, and so on. It's everything to everyone. And I specifically use the word as editor. It's not a manipulator, which is what I consider Photoshop to be. Photoshop will cut out the wheelie bin and put the dog behind the wheelie bin, and you'll never know there's a wheelie bin behind there, even though the dog is not in the picture in the first place. And that's a manipulation of an image. And a photographer, the definition of a photographer as a me is somebody that captures light upon a narrative and can edit it, not manipulate it. And I'm not talking about taking out a can of Coke. I'm talking about changing the narrative. And that's what a photographer is. Somebody that captures light upon a narrative, edits it, and presents it. Does not change the narrative. So, yes. So, anyway. Anyone, any questions? No? Anyone need any help with just seeing what we've got on Wednesday? Anyone need any help with Lightroom? Lightroom Classic? No? Okay, so Wednesday, looking at sharpening and noise reduction. And we're going to look at Classic and Lightroom for that. I'll show you both on that. And next week, we are going to, it's the last week of collections and importing. We're going to be looking at mobile devices. So how you can import in Classic, so continuing on, how it would affect the iPad, your phone, how you can take pictures on your phone, import them, sorry, take pictures on your camera, import them into Classic with your phone, okay, or a tablet. And you can do that. We won't do Bluetooth because it takes a little bit longer, but we'll use a cable, but the theory is the same. And how we can use collections within that workflow of albums in Lightroom, how it all comes back. So for example, I was in a hotel last night. I had 200 pictures on here. I linked here with a little cable into my phone. I turned Classic on and there they all are, edited, all in Classic. Hadn't been anywhere near Classic for the last 3 days, but they were all there. So I'm going to show you how I do all of that using collections and Lightroom. Lightroom is desktop, web, and mobile. Sorry, Lightroom desktop, web, and mobile. Mobile can be either of these. And it's the same principle whether you've got Android or Apple. And even if you've got cross platforms, so you might have an iPhone, but a Samsung tablet, still works. Theory still works. I've tested it years and years and years. And I keep tweaking it. Keep tweaking it. Oh, this works better. This works better. And as new technology comes out. So in the last 12 months, I have spent shed loads of money in updating tech. I think it was one of my first or second trips to Scotland to the Cape Wrath Trail. And I left the cable behind. I had to drive all the way from the Airbnb, all the way out, all the way back round this lock to Fort William to buy an £8 cable from Argos and drive all the way back and all the way back. 80 miles for an £8 cable that took me 4 hours. And I went, that is the last frigging time I'm doing that. Everything now is USB-C. And I've learned how to use the technology. So if I have that failure again, I've got a way around it. So, because I don't want to do that again. I don't wish that upon anybody. Driving down the small little Scottish country lanes to go and buy a frigging £8 cable. I learned by my mistakes. Okay. Nobody needs any help? Nobody's got any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, hopefully see you Wednesday. Sharpening and noise reduction. Use the AI and manual tools. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Happy photography. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.